Hello, Abnormal Investigations. Got another encounter for you. Today is a rather sad encounter. I'm going to go ahead and put a content warning on this one because it involves a child, and a lot of you may have trouble listening to this one. We're going to go ahead and get into this encounter, and I think we'll talk a little bit about it at the end. I'll never forget the camping trip that changed my life forever. Mike, this is very hard for me to share. My 7-year-old son Alex and I ventured into the wilderness seeking quality time and adventure. Our excitement was palpable as we set up camp near a tranquil lake that we both enjoyed. We had camped here many, many times. As night descended, the sounds of nature filled the air, but amidst the crickets and rustling leaves, strange noises echoed through the forest. This night was different. Twigs snapping, branches cracking, and the unsettling growls and guttural growls we heard. My instincts stirred, but I reassured myself it was just animals. My son Alex said to me, "Dad, I'm scared." Alex whispered to me, snuggling close to me inside of our tent. I assured him everything was okay. I told him, "Buddy, it's just nature's sounds," I replied, trying to calm him, trying to soothe my son. Suddenly, a chilling scream pierced the darkness. I frantically searched for Alex, but he was gone. He had vanished. He was right beside me, picking up wood, putting the last bit of wood on the fire. He was only feet from me, and now he was gone. "Alex, Alex," I kept yelling for him. I yelled, and I'll admit panic was setting in. My voice echoed through the forest, but there was no response. I scoured the campsite, calling out my son's name until my voice was hoarse. The darkness seemed to swallow all around me, leaving only an eerie silence after I would yell for my son. Frantic, I rushed to the nearest ranger station, reporting Alex missing. A search party was assembled, scouring the wilderness. Days passed, and days felt like years, and hope began to dwindle. I was beside myself, imagining the worst. How could he just go missing, being right beside me, be that far just beside me, and then he's gone? And then not even hear my yells. How could he possibly be gone? He would have saw the fire. He would have knew where I was at. I couldn't get this out of my mind. He knew the woods. On the third day, a helicopter spotted something on the summit of a nearby mountain 12 miles from the campsite. Rescuers rushed to the scene. What they found defied comprehension. My son laid motionless, half consumed by some unseen, strange force. His small body was battered, with strange markings etched into his skin. I collapsed at the news. My world was now shattered. How could this happen? I cried profusely. The investigation uncovered no signs of predators, or human foul play, or natural causes. The strange noises, the unexplained disappearances, and Alex's gruesome fate remained a mystery. I was left with only questions. What took my son? What drove it to leave him on the top of the mountain? The forest, once a place of serenity, now holds only terror for me. It's now March 18th, 2023. I'm still trying to process what happened. The guilt consumes me. Why didn't I protect him? Why did I underestimate those noises? Alex's smile still haunts me in my memories. His laughter echoes in my mind. I'll spend the rest of my life searching for answers. The search team, for some reason, had called in the National Guard. The National Guard did give me some things that really caused me to question and wonder things. They done audio recordings of the area that my son was taken from and the area that my son was found at. And they did capture some strange noises. They were animal-sounding noises, howls and echoing, and some of them even sound like some chanting or talking, but they said none of them came back as a comparison to anything. They were later disregarded as just background noises. Photographs of my son's injuries were given to me. That was one of the hardest things to look at. They were very strange, the way he was injured. He had dark bruising around his neck and around his arms, as if something had choked him and held him by the arms and drug him away. There was unidentified markings on Alex's skin. He had bites on him that didn't match any known animal. The bites were humanish, they said, but had more teeth than a human. They was unable to determine what it was and was later said that they believed an animal might have double bit the same area, causing it to look like that. I looked at them many times, and I don't believe what they said. This looks like a one bite, and it looks like something very, very strange. This encounter has left me shattered, forever changed. If you're reading this, beware of the wilderness. It holds a lot of secrets that we're not told. All the way from our wardens to our rangers, they all know what's out there, or if they don't know exactly what it is, they know there is something out there. But they don't tell us these things, because they don't want us not going to the woods. Sometimes I wonder, do they have a deal with these things that they can have so many children or so many of us a year? I've heard this on a lot of videos I've been watching lately trying to find answers. What do you think, Mike? Again, it's strange that your child is so close to you and how they can just go missing and they're just gone. You know, they're right there with you, and then the next thing you know, they're gone. 12 miles on top of a mountain in 3 days. That is a long ways for a child to travel. And we know he didn't because, as you said, he was consumed, so that tells us that something did have him. Sounds like he was choked, you said, and drugged by the arms. Maybe the choking was to keep him from screaming whenever it took him. And of course it probably held his arms as it drug him away. It's a very scary thought. What he went through in those 3 days, we can only pray that it was over fast for him that night, that he did not remain alive or conscious during the last 3 days. Hopefully it was quick. These things are very, very quiet. They are very, very evil. And they are very, very optimistic. And they will get your children if they're right there beside you. That's why I always say pay so close attention to your children. When you started hearing the guttural sounds and stuff like that, I know a lot of us, we try to say that it's something that it's not, to even keep the fear factor down for ourselves. And I think sometimes we just have to swallow our pride and leave that camping area if it starts feeling that way. There are so many other places that we can camp, and we don't have to stay in just that one area because, of our pride, or we may not want to pack up and reset back up camp, but I think it's worth it. I think these are a lot of things we need to keep in mind, that our safety is first and foremost, especially if we have our children, or our wives with us, if you have a girlfriend or a wife. And sometimes it's better just to pack up and move on to a safer place. I'm not saying you're at fault for this, because I do it a lot of times when I'm out there. I'll hear things and I'll dismiss it if I'm fishing or something because the fish are biting and I don't want to leave. And I think that's kind of a pride thing, and it's kind of a man thing. And I think that's something that we need to consider when we have others with us, that, their safety, and are they capable of taking care of themselves the same way that we are. I want to thank you for sharing that with me. I have no words for you. I'm sorry. And until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. And we'll catch you on the next one.